My name is Claire Davis. I'm 50 and I'm about to return to being a lawyer. My lifestyle is definitely, I'll define it as outdoors, busy, fairly stressful. I haven't had a skin routine really over the years. I can safely say I've had no routine in regard to looking after my skin. I would spend about £15 a month on skincare and treatments. The trigger for me going to see Dr. Natalie in the first place was because I'm returning to professional work and my lifestyle has been very busy and outdoorsy, which means I've had a lot of strain on my skin, and I really felt I needed some help. Dr. Natalie has discussed various treatments with me. Firstly, she talked about Botox, and then after that she discussed fillers with me about whether they'd be appropriate, and then finally we talked about INTRAcel, and that sounded like the best option. I decided to go for the INTRAcel treatments because I'd heard that they were very natural, uninvasive, and extremely successful. Dr. Natalie was very enthusiastic about them, and I very much trust her as a technician and as a person, and so I decided to give it a go. The results that I'm expecting aren't specific in my mind, but I'm hoping that I'm going to feel fresher, and that my skin will have a more even tone, and that I'll feel, frankly, younger and happier to go back to work. Okay, well, we're at the clinic and I'm sat in a very pretty resting room where I'm going to have all my cream put on, and it's completely private and very comfortable. So I feel quite happy on the whole. Everybody's been very kind and made sure that I know exactly what's going to happen and that it's completely non-invasive. And I've been told of any little bit of redness there might be at the end, so there shouldn't be any surprises for me, but I'm still feeling slightly nervous, not quite sure what to expect. But on the whole, looking forward to it, and just glad to be giving it a go. Right, this is my third session and probably almost certainly my final session, and I have to say I have had a ball since my first session. Lots of people have commented, and it seems as if after the first session there was quite a reaction, but after the second session everybody I meet is saying, "Oh, you look a lot younger." And of course I'm keeping quite stumm generally, but it's a wonderful natural effect. That's what I seem to be really comfortable with. It's just, it feels just delightful and very natural. Perfect. You right, Claire? Mm-hmm. Well, I've just had my third treatment, and I feel slightly sunburnt, so there's a sort of heat to my cheeks and my face, but nothing severe at all. And I've got, from memory, I think last time, the day after, there's a little bit of sort of rash-like on my neck and face, and then, to be honest, about 48 hours or maybe a little bit longer, there's hardly any trace. But I have got a goodie bag which helps with the healing process, and firstly what I've got is a mask, and straight after the treatment I've had one of these masks put on anyway, and they're really soothing, but this is an extra one for tonight, so you can put it in the fridge, just then put it on and relax this evening. I've also got here a little pot of arnica, just to help with the swelling if there is any. With me there doesn't seem to have been too much, but that sort of is just a general, again, any sort of shock to the surface of the skin. I've also got a peel which is to use about 5 to 7 days after the treatment. because sometimes there's some very fine sort of scabs. I mean, that makes it sound worse than it is, but this just immediately gets rid of any trace of that. And also there's a lovely face cream, which again is just extra soothing and helps the treatment. So it's a pretty comprehensive pack, and I think the first treatment was the most daunting, and now I feel completely at home with the process, and it's just hugely rewarding. The results so far have been really satisfying in that they've been, although subtle, quite dramatic in some ways. As I said earlier, people are commenting constantly that I look younger, and when I look at myself, I can see that my whole skin is plumper and fresher and less drawn, less lined. I mean, really quite radically different, but in a very, wholly natural way. So that the main results are the plumpness and the firmness, and also very, very soft skin. My last treatment was a couple of months ago, and I have to say I feel really good. I'm beginning to get up in the morning, look in the mirror and see quite a profound difference. And of course that has a knock-on effect on my confidence. So the way I describe it is it's very subtle. It feels lovely. My skin feels lovely, but sort of looks so much fresher. And I definitely look younger, and I'm definitely glad of that. The very exciting thing is I think this even gets better. So in a few months' time, it'll be at its peak. But I would say I thoroughly recommend it. What was very exciting was my sister came over a couple of nights ago for dinner, and I'd said nothing to her, but she hasn't seen me for a few months, and she literally was aghast. She went, "Your skin," like that, and kept sort of looking at me. And so I told her about the treatments that I'd had and how pleased I was, and she was very, very impressed. And I have to say, she's quite a harsh judge, and definitely not somebody to flatter me unnecessarily. So it was a really good test. And I'm now going back out into the world. It is a cliche, but it's true. You know, much more confident, much happier to be. I'm much happier in myself. So it's been very profound, but also very, very natural.